Oh my gosh. Well, back at the bird and the villain. Now with the yeah, yeah, that happened. That happened. And in case anybody would like to know, yes, Ryan Justice himself, the last Maverick of West Texas. Thank you for joining us today. Honor. Gosh, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Just kind of relaxing. It's one of those chill Sundays and getting stuff done around the house, I guess.
Fair, fair enough. All right. Oh my. Well, in case anybody would like to know, yes, I made and tried to attempt to make the greatest of promotions for my friend Ryan Justice, and I failed. Failed because every one of my promos had him hit in the face. So if it makes him feel any better, my nuts have paid the price, punishment, and I hope we can start anew, my friend. I hope we can start anew.
Look, I was.
Change my style, they told me. Now they come around like homie. Man, y'all better back up slowly. Back up slowly.
I have taken several shots, and I got another blunt ready over there after this one's done. Damn, bro, this is suck. Look, heroes you remember, but legends never die. Shit.
I guess I'm gonna kick him the balls.
Oh! Oh, God. Stop breathing. Just go for it. Oh!
Oh, God. Stop breathing. Just go for it. Oh! Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the King and the Bird. Ryan, that was a real bump he took.
Look, as a kick, I mean, I appreciate the forward motion of it, but she's got to get up in between there, man. She's got to get because you got to get that lift action if you're going to shoot all those videos, man. I mean,
the boy suffered, Brian. The boy suffered. That was justice. And speaking
at least
of
she
justice,
wasn't wearing heels.
You have 12 years experience in the indie game, bro. You've never taken hits like that?
Let's see. I've crotched myself on a couple of top turnbuckles that were pretty. In fact, actually, I caught one of them. I was in a rumble, and let's just say things got pinched on the top rope last weekend.
Oh, I would have. Okay, no, I'm not loving it, but I'm sorry. I take that, but you recently had a match in it was against God, I don't know why I'm literally blanking on the name because we talked prior to getting to actually going live, but your last match that was on the guy was from, sorry, I don't know, I'm literally blanking on his
Justin. I bet it was Justin Taylor.
More than likely. Thank you. It was Jackson Taylor. Dude, you guys put on one of the best matches I've seen, and we were talking about your fluidity, your technical style, the way you are, like old school Texas rap. Like I get that feel from you. How does that how do you apply that? Like talk to me about that real quick. What was that match like for you?
Man, it was, Justin and I, we've wrestled each other. God, we were our first match. Like we were each other's first match 12 years ago. And even just in life, we've always had a chemistry. We've always had just that natural. We've always thought and spoke and talked on the same wavelength, and that was just a continuation of it.
Yeah.
I love League of Lions, but man, their ring kicked our butt that night. It was a pretty stiff ring, and by the end of it, we both were kind of like, no more. But we were like, look, we got like 5 minutes left in this match.
Right.
And you know, you powered through it. You know, we got through it and had, you know, loved the reaction. We get back there, sell out at the Monitor. You know, again, shout out to League of Lions for last week in Marshall, Texas. Go check them out. They were a great group of guys. Sell out. We come back through, sell out at the Monitor. You know, and it was one of those matches where we were thinking, you know, we had them. And the crazy thing about it was, I had been there a couple of times before by myself, but it had been about 2 or 3 years since I had been there. And then Justin had never been there. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we got the reaction that we got by the end of that match was, you know, that's how it's supposed to be done.
Now, the end of that match. Oof. The end of that match. Talk about the end of that match. Hey, look, man, I call it like I sees it. Hey, a little snakiness done at the end of that match, man. What was going on there with you and
Look, I'm tired of Justin showing me up. Like, he always feels like Justin's showing me up. He always feels like he has to one-up me. There, you know, so I had to get mine on that one.
You guys have to check out this match, by the way. Like, Ryan and Justin put on a literal barn burner. And I got to the fit. It was good, dirty pool, my friend. You had me off the palm of your hand. I love it. It was beautiful. Beautiful match, but brother, you hurt him.
Yeah.
Not mad at him.
Had to send that message, man. Had to send that message.
So Ryan, you know, obviously everybody knows we just went through a pandemic, and I got to meet you, and you probably don't even remember it, but I got to meet you back at the Indie Wrestling Expo last August. And what was it like finally coming back from a pandemic and finally going? Well, most likely, I don't know if it was your first wrestling event, but as far as I know, that was one of the first wrestling events that got put on during the pandemic. What was it like finally getting back into the ring?
It was different because, you know, recently I started, you know, Facebook memories and you know, memories and stuff like that, where you get people sending in clips of matches and stuff from wrestling shows. I recently started getting, you know, back in March, clips and stuff from before the pandemic happened. And it was just weird. Like, it's just weird. You see the life before it, and then you fast forward 6 months to the expo, and it's life after it. You know, it was definitely interesting. We didn't know what to expect. You know, we kept getting bookings that were like, okay, yeah, you know, 2 weeks out while everyone's locked down. You know, it's 2 weeks out. Hey, you know, the show's still on. The show's still on. And then the week of, no, we got to cancel. And, you know, especially when you have plans at certain promotions, that's frustrating. The expo, the first match back from the expo, it was definitely, we didn't know what to expect. You know, I believe that first night, me and Justin and a couple of the guys that rode with us were in the Battle Royal. In fact, I think me and Justin started that Battle Royal.
Yeah, you did. I remember watching it.
Oh yeah. I remember being there.
I'm sure you do. It's okay. Memorable face.
Yeah, there you go. It's similar. Yeah, I got that. But we were, you know, we didn't know what to expect, and especially, you know, we come back to a show that has that much talent on it. You know, that was the most talent I think we've ever been around, outside of being backstage in WWE. Yeah. And we just didn't know what to expect. So when we went out there that first night and we were in the Battle Royal, you know, we were just like, oh my gosh, you know, it was weird seeing everyone all spread out and then kind of not getting the same crowd reaction that you would get in a packed house.
Yeah.
So Indy definitely made it with lack of audience. Oh, sorry, go ahead, do your thing.
No, you're good, man.
Oh, sorry.
I couldn't imagine doing, because I haven't been in one of those situations where you're just in front of a camera. I haven't performed in that yet, so especially during the pandemic. So I guess we had the fortune of this whole time being in front of a live audience. So we never really lost that. But yeah, it was definitely weird looking out and seeing all the space in between everybody. And, because if we see that, we're like, are we going to get paid? Like, did they make enough money for us to get paid?
Yeah, I remember talking to Kyler Hessler about it, the promoter there, and he's going, "Yeah, we're going to do this, Justin, leading up to it, because I flew out from Florida to go to it, and he kept saying, Justin, we're going to do it, we're going to do it." And I'm like, "You sure? I bought my plane ticket."
Yeah.
You better do it. I got a hotel. You better do it. And it was weird, even being there. I ended up helping behind the scenes some there with them, but being out, it was different. It was completely different than what we're normally used to at a wrestling event. But hey, you know what? It was a great kickoff. I was talking to Sam Adonis the other day. He's like, "Man, my schedule is slammed now." He goes, "I got bookings all the time." He goes, I'm in Mexico a lot now. He goes, "But I am busy."
Yeah, we picked up too. Like it's like I was telling the bird before, or the villain. Sorry, I'll have to make sure you should care. It's like I was telling him before the show started. I'm kind of limited on what I can do just because I have, I have a home life and I do have to be here for my kids. My girlfriend is becoming a nurse really soon. She's graduating at the end of the year. But so I usually can only wrestle about twice a month, usually 3 times if it's somewhere really close. But I usually can do the big trips, the weekend trips every other month or so. And so yeah, but even so with that, after the expo, things started picking up. People started coming and seeing us, and then me and Justin wrestled at the expo. And people just started coming and seeing us and coming and talking to us and, hey, we're going to book you. And it's just funny because the very first time we wrestled in OSW in 2016, we didn't expect the match to travel. And then now it's just like, holy crap, it's still traveling. Like,
right.
Years later. So
I love it. Like you guys.
Me too. Keeps me busy.
Dude, if you get a chance, and I hope you guys get a chance to actually check out some matches that Ron's put out, man. Like, the best way I can call it, and if I can, because I'm trying not to mark out a little bit. Like, I thought I got all out of my system, but I'm acting like a schoolgirl. I digress. But, like, there is old school Texas technical feel for it, and I love it. I love when you come out to the – dude, this is – when you said, like, there's a difference with audiences, I felt that because – you're reminding people who you are. Dude, it's all swagger, it's all confidence, but you feel it. That's why, like, I'm sorry, like, I haven't appreciated matches because I had a kid, but when you say, like, like promo work you want to work on, I've watched some of the promos on your channel, and dude, they're good. They're like, you've got something. You've got that. I like. How would you best describe the Last Maverick of Texas wrestling? What is it? How would you describe it? How do you put it into words for the people just checking you out now?
So before the whole Last Maverick of West Texas came about, I was the highlight of your night, and I guess it basically the way I can describe the transition was basically from a boy to a man. The highlight of your night came out was slick back hair and flashy glasses and swagger and, cocky, confident smile on his face all the time and real chicken, heel. The Last Maverick of West Texas is a bit more gritty, a bit more refined, not afraid to dress up, not afraid to put on his best clothes and then roll up his sleeves and kick your ass. That's exactly what I wanted to go for. But, the basis of that name really came in the fact that I want to go out and remind people that this area has a rich legacy in this business. You think of the Funks, you think of the Romeros, Dick Murdoch, guys like Dennis Stamp that came through. Dennis used to be, when I was wrestling here in Amarillo, Dennis used to be at the show every week, and he would pull me aside and be like, "Oh my God, like, why are you still here?" Almost not in derogatory terms. He's like, "You should be out there." And it was really cool because he was one of the guys, in the office there at that building. they got a bunch of those old flyers from the Amarillo Fairgrounds and the Amarillo Sports Arenas that have all the match listings, and it's like Dory Funk and Gorgeous George and just all these names that came through West Texas. And I feel like, lately that's been forgotten. Texas has become this hotbed of professional wrestling.
Yep.
And a lot of it, you hear about Dallas and the Sportatorium and Houston and Paul Bosch and San Antonio with Jose Lothario, Austin, all those. But I think people kind of forget that, man, all up and down I-27, there was just so much good wrestling, so much good, so many legendary names that kind of came here to cut their teeth and prove how tough they were, because this territory was such a gritty kind of no nonsense. You had to be a tough guy if you wanted to get over with the people. These guys were very unapologetic for what they did. And, the Texas Death Match was a big thing with that. If you survived one of those, you kind of earned your merit. So
who do you go ahead.
That's something that I kind of want to use this character and use this moniker to remind people of that. Yeah, you got all these guys out here looking for approval and looking for likes and looking for all of this. I'm here to beat respect into you. I'm here to I want to see how tough you are. I want to see if you can fight, because approval, likes, gifts, trending topics, that's gonna get you noticed on social media, but you still got to beat the guy in front of you.
That's awesome stuff. Just to go back, think of the people the wrestlers that have come before you in Texas, and that's an amazing list. So, segueing off of that, who influenced you? You've been in the wrestling business for 12 years, but who influenced you as a wrestler?
So I kind of break it up into different eras. Obviously, if you were to study my work, I guess the people that have kind of analyzed it a little bit, there's a lot of Chris Jericho in there. There's a lot of Christian Cage in there. But I very much so was drawn to Eddie Guerrero. He's actually my favorite wrestler. And, in more ways than one, at a very young, impressionable age, I was kind of starting to make some not so great choices. And then I read his book. Yeah. But I mean, it was one of those things where, you had a lot going on as a kid.
Right.
And, a lot more than a kid at that age probably should be worried about. But I read his book. And, that changed it. It went from, after I got done reading that book, it went from, maybe I want to do this, to, okay, nothing's going to stop me from doing this. And immediately I got in the gym and I got, I became, in high school, I became the wrestling guy,
Right.
I just couldn't get enough of it. That was the place I kind of just escaped to really just kind of clear my head.
Awesome. That's awesome. Heather asked the question. She says, where can I check out some of Ryan's matches? You want to go ahead and share some of that and just
so
throw out your stuff?
If you're looking for me on just search up Ryan Justice Wrestling on YouTube. You'll find my YouTube page. You'll probably find some of my matches. But yeah, right. Search up Ryan Justice Wrestling. Follow me on Twitter at Justice8908. Same thing on Instagram. Facebook.com/official Ryan Justice. I'm trying to build up that Twitter. I'm still trying to reach that 1,000 follower mark. So
we'll get you there, guys. We're gonna get you. If you guys are watching, we're gonna get definitely a little over 1,000 followers if we can. Definitely, because and segueing off of that, which one you have a great deal of experience. You learned in one of the hearts of, like you said, today, the hearts of wrestling, Texas. Everyone has an opinion. Obviously, social media is that line. You have that experience. It's one thing you can pass on and tell people. Trust me, everybody knows how the is, but you've lived that. 12 years lets me know that if you're telling me something, I'm perked up, my ears are open, because you've been it, you've lived it. What is something that people who've ever do what you do? Because, dude, man, you cool shit. Sorry for cursing, but you do. I'm not right. What's one thing that you would tell people that is very unexpected about your journey? Because you're also dude, you're still carrying on, like I said, the swagger, man, the confidence. What's something you would tell people now that they're not expecting about this industry?
You know, if after 12 years, you know, you've got to, you know, after 12 years, you've got to realize that this is a business. If it's somebody that's in the business, if it's somebody that's coming up through this business, this is a business.
Right.
You know, you're here to build your brand and to help other people build theirs. And there's a lot of guys out there in this business that will exploit that. They know that, but you don't. And you'll hear things like, "Oh, don't do that. It's bad for business." Or why do you have that idea? You're going to kill the business. You know, why are you, you know, wanting to go out and do this? Don't go work for them. They don't know the business. And you're like, dude,
right.
You're telling me to go not take a payday so I can stay on your promotion that's paying me so much less than what they're offering me. You know, oh, social media is bad for the business. You know, the thing is that at the end of the day, you're here to build your brand. You're here to help them build their brand. You're helping each other make money if you're going to put it that way. And it took me a while to learn that. You know, I'm a very loyal person, and it became a deal of it had to take a lot to win my loyalty. You know, especially in a wrestling company. So you've got to keep your ears open. You know, I think Jake the Snake said it once. Don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. So, I mean, it served me well in a lot of things in life.
Right.
So sorry, you guys probably hear my puppy.
3 dogs over here where I'm at right now, bro.
I've got 3 dogs and 3 cats. I understand.
Oh, brave of you for being a cat person. I'm gonna cut the last black. God, I can't.
So Ryan, I've had the opportunity I've talked with you many times on and off through Twitter just about different stuff, and you know that there's Ryan Justice the wrestler, but you're also going to school too, if I'm correct. Mm-hmm. What you want to just share a little bit about what you're doing, going to school for, and everything?
Yeah, so I'm enrolled in Full Sail University for Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. So basically, I'm learning to work in the sports business. I'm learning to work, you know, with what you see on TV. And honestly, you know, I feel like, you know, you talked about my promos earlier. Honestly, I felt like that's been the most beneficial thing for my promos because I learned production. I learned video editing. I learned how to stand out with the way I deliver my promos and the way I approach the camera. You know, I'm sure you can see it online. I had to frame it right. You know, I have to make sure I'm anytime I go on an interview, I always want to make sure that I'm looking right, looking camera ready. You know, obviously on a Sunday I'm relaxed. You know, everyone's relaxed on a Sunday. So, but you know, I've put together some things. I think I've even got one of my demo A blocks on my YouTube page that I stayed up until 3 a.m. editing and putting together. And that really helped out my promos. Through that, I actually got an opportunity to go work with Fox. The last 2 years, I've been running, you know, the hey, go get that guy, but still getting a lot of valuable experience through Fox at the NFL games. You know, I've been to 3 Dallas Cowboy games in the last 2 years. I actually worked this past year's Thanksgiving game. That was the first game. No, take that back. The TCU game was. I worked 3 Dallas Cowboys games and then a TCU game. And the TCU game was my first game back from the pandemic. But it was way different because when I walked into AT&T Stadium and they were only at 30% capacity, and you see that stadium, and the last time I was there, I think they had like 85,000 in that stadium for a Cowboys game, and now you've only got 30, and it's different. It's way different, and especially if you're standing there on the field, just kind of looking up, and you can't go into the places that you're normally allowed to go in. Everyone has to kind of wait outside. You know, last time I did it, I was in the graphics truck, and So I got to hear the director, and we got to help call out stats and everything like that. They made us wait outside. You know, normally you go into those. Normally, one of my favorite things about going to those stadiums is the catering. Normally, they have this huge spread of catering. Oh, dude, it's amazing. When it's not individually packaged, it's amazing. World class, like some of the best mac and cheese you'll ever have. But the individual packaging, I was like, man, I know they can do better. But it was just cool. The first one I did. The very first one I did, I got to watch it from the booth. You know, I was in the broadcast booth. So that was a super cool experience. So but Full Sail, I feel like, has really helped me step up my production game. Justin, I don't know if you saw it before the expo, the promo package that we put together for me and Justin. Yeah. I did all of that. That whole
okay
was edited by me. I had Justin and Jeb, and then shoot their stuff in Midland, and then Rick Elsey, I went and shot his, and then I sat right here and shot mine and edited together all of that footage last year. So I put that out. That was all me. It took us about 2 weeks to do it, but we were like, when we go into that expo, we were like, how are we going to stand out? You know, all these guys, because it's funny because we saw all these guys cutting promos on their cell phones and selfies and doing my stuff. And we're like, no, we're not going to do that. We want something that's going to grab everyone's attention. We want something that's going to make everyone go, we have to see this match. And when we released it, we had people, dude, that was awesome. And I felt proud of it as a wrestler, and I felt really proud of it as an editor, because like that was probably the biggest project I had worked on.
That's awesome, man. And it's amazing how, you know, it correlates from going into Full Sail and all that to actually helping you become a better wrestler. And I actually do remember that, and that was pretty awesome from what I recall. But yeah, man, that's awesome. So here's the deal. What would you say is your favorite match that you've done at all time? Your whole 12-year career, favorite match.
Good, I want some of that.
There's a couple. My favorite one, because me and Justin had this conversation the other day, you know, just talking about the matches that we've had. 2017, loser leaves OSW. Me and Justin, Ector County Coliseum, in front of about 1,200 people. And I don't remember any crowd being hotter than that, or any crowd being louder than that on that night. Because it was the big kind of payoff to the first leg of our feud in old school wrestling. And Abyss was there that night.
Wow.
Abyss was on the card. And I think he paid us probably the best compliment, one of the best compliments we've ever been paid. And he went to the booker and he goes, that match should have been the main event. He goes, you're not going to get louder than that. And here's the crazy thing. I felt bad for the guys following us, but I was really confident in the guys following us, because the guys following us was Kurt Stallion and Izzy James. So we were like, if any guys are going to follow that, it's going to be them. But they even came up to us and were like, dude, like that's going to be so hard to follow.
This is on your YouTube channel. Can we find this match on your YouTube channel?
It is. I've got two different views from it. And here's the thing, like me and Justin, if you look closely, me and Justin were actually kind of off on our timing on a couple of things that night, but it's just the crowd reaction was just so good and so loud that, because we've just passed the 5-year anniversary of that this past April. And every time it comes up on our timeline, we go, dude, we just kind of reminisce on it. But yeah, I've got two versions of it on my YouTube page. I've got the version that was shot from my camera, from my phone. And then I've got the version that was actually on the DVD. So I've got both versions on there if you want to watch them both. I believe I don't know if they lost the crowd sound with editing. So go check it out and see for yourself.
How much does the crowd affect you as a wrestler?
It can affect us a lot. If the crowd is really quiet, you're sitting there. You could be sitting there in the hold, going, "Okay, what are we doing wrong? Like,
Right.
are we not doing something right? Like, what do I need to do to get this going?" And the smart wrestlers will figure it out. Okay, maybe the baby face needs to come back a little bit. Okay, maybe we need to go ahead and just take it home. It's one of those things where you do feed off the crowd. And here's the other thing too: if the crowd is hot, if the crowd is going and going and going, and you've got them right off the jump, go watch my match with Aaron Harms, the one where I won the West Texas title. We cut a lot of stuff from that match. Simply because we're like, dude, we got the crowd. We don't need to kill ourselves anymore. So yeah, the crowd is very important in determining a match, because if it's hot, guess what? You don't really have to do much to keep it hot. If they're dead, okay, it's time to start changing stuff up.
Someone's going through a table. That's going to get the crowd pumped.
Yeah.
How long is get them up?
Crowd control, dude. I got to see. Dude, I will give you that, Ryan. You're pretty good at working a crowd, though. You feed off of that. If you watch, dude, I see you. I don't know. Your crowd controlling me is really something to see, because you just got to watch. You guys just have to watch his matches. I'm not even trying to BS you right now. If you give him a shout and give him a peek, the way. Doesn't matter if there's 200 or 12,000, dude. I watch you walk into a ring. You hear them. You feel them. That's why I love your gimmick, bro. I love it. I love the Last Maverick of Texas wrestling. Sorry. I'm going to stop fangirling for a second. Sorry.
Thank you. I enjoyed booing him. I did enjoy booing him at the Expo.
Oh, you're a dick. Oh, my God.
I love it. I loved it.
Did you hear him?
Yeah, we can hear the crowd, on that one. It's funny because if you go and watch that match that we had at the Expo, because I think I got permission for the Fight TV or whoever they were using. I don't think that part was on Fight TV, but they were still using the production and everything. If you see me, because I hit a springboard code breaker on Justin, if you look carefully in the background, you can see Brian Pillman Jr. flip out about it. It's so funny. And he came up to me after the match. And he goes, "Dude, that springboard code breaker was awesome." And I was like, I played with your dad's action figure. It was so cool. And to have him come up and do that was another one of those compliment moments.
That's awesome. So Courtney from the chat asks, do you think Ballet's managers are a dying breed?
I wouldn't say they're a dying breed. I would say that they're not being used, depending on who they are. They're not being used in the way that they probably should be used. I think the best way anyone ever used them was in the 80s. A manager meant something. Nowadays, I think the best use of a manager is probably with somebody that doesn't have a great promo, or somebody that just needs to get that they just need that one thing to make them extra hateable. Because to me, managers usually work better with heels,
right?
Because it gives them another vessel to cheat. Early on in my career, me and a girl named Paula Fate, we were managers. We were, I saw that. She was my manager, and man, I didn't really even have to do a whole lot, because as soon as she would come to the ring and introduce me, and as soon as her music hit and she took that mic from the announcer, it just rained down boos. Again, referencing my YouTube, there's a match with me and her versus Paloma Star and Cody Jones from Amarillo. And again, that's the loudest that I heard. That's probably the loudest I've heard the WrestlePlex. And we really didn't have to do much, Me and Cody got in there. Oh, I love working Cody Jones. But we got in there and did our stuff. They got in there and did their stuff, and the crowd just ate up every bit of it. And all she had to do was walk through that curtain.
Ballet is
that's awesome.
A little bit, like you said, dude. Like now, it's either like you said, a lot of you see him for eye candy. My ballet candy. In my e-pet career, I'm not a.
Ballets. I like it better when they're a heel, because it's so much easier for them. I don't like, I'm glad that the days of using women for eye candy in wrestling are over. Granted, in shape, physically fit, beautiful women are always going to draw. But now that they can go out there and kick ass and actually do something to where it feels like they're contributing to the business, like in a super meaningful, non-degrading way, so much better.
Oh, yeah, we're all fans. We went through the Attitude Era, right? It was a different. To see the slow progression and see where you can actually have female wrestlers. And speaking of which, Ryan, is there any women right now, current female wrestlers, that give a kudos, a nod, a nudge, somebody that we want to check out now that may, deserve to be peeked at? Anyone you know?
Like on the indie scene right now, probably Alejandra Lyon. She's really good. Last time I saw her was in December for APW, but every time we're Pokemon Go friends. So every time I see her, every time I see her, we talk Pokemon Go. But she's one of those people that has progressed really really well. She's all over the place on social media. Trying to think of Paloma Star, another one that you guys should check out. I've known her since the beginning of my career. Granted, I still hold a little bit of a grudge against her because she jumped me at a gas station, but no, Paloma, and she's also the person that has hit me the hardest. But she's she puts in the work, man. I props out to Paloma Star. She's out in Chicago, so go check her out.
Can I ask what happened at that gas station?
It's a funny story. I always rip her on it whenever I get the chance. So I used to ride. I used to live in Midland, Midland, Texas. So we would drive to and from Amarillo every weekend because Amarillo was a weekly show, and her and Jones, they were on that show too. So we get food. We finish the show. We get food. We go to this gas station on our way out of town, and I guess they had stopped there as well. They were getting something from Walmart, and I'm just sitting in the back seat eating fries. I'm just like, man, I don't want it. It's not healthy, but I guess this Wendy's is gonna do. So I'm just eating fries. Next thing I know, I get pulled out and I'm getting forearmed and chopped and ran into a gas pump. And I realized, oh my God, it's Star and her friends are, Cody Jones' sister is sitting there laughing at us. So we just kind of made it a running joke with that.
Did you enjoy any fries? No fries?
I wasn't going to give her my fries. Heck no. That's my fries. I didn't lose any, though, too. I made sure I set him in the cup holder as I'm getting hit in the face.
Ryan Justice. See, that's savage. Thank you.
But no, you got to save those fries, man. You can't lose those. I even had dipping sauce, too. I managed to keep that. Even had dipping sauce, too. I managed to keep that all taken care of. Yeah. Not losing any of it.
That is coordinated experience, my guy.
There we go.
He got you good, man. Oh, sorry. It's like I feel like I am the guy listen to the greatest stories ever. If I want you the next time, if you can, that you might be out. When is your next show? If traveling is
so the next time
travel.
Yeah, the next time I'm wrestling is going to be June 19th for Ballet Pro. So we'll be on Fight TV. That's going to be in Arlington, Texas. I don't remember the name of the arena, but you could check it out. Ballet Pro on Twitter.
They just changed arenas too. I was talking to Kyler Hessler the other day. They just changed arenas, and I don't remember what it was. But
yeah, no, it's not in the brewery anymore.
No.
That was an interesting night. That was the night I worked Myron Reed, but that was there's such a good show. And Kyle is just putting together a really good product. But yeah, I'll be there. June 19th. Yeah, you're probably hearing they're talking to each other. They're doing an interview now too. But
I'm so sorry. Oh,
no, you're fine because you can probably hear mine too.
you totally can.
Yeah, I get it.
Sorry, Fox literally just showed up to drop off Puppy. Say hi, Fox.
Hi. Listen. The next time you kick, you got to go through the uprights, not at the goalpost.
He said the next time in my nuts. Next time go for the boys and the goalpost.
You got to go in between the legs, not at the goalpost.
Thank you, Ryan. All she needs is more incentive. She's a lead god. She'll actually listen to you. Don't give her incentive. Give her incentive. But
so you're gonna be at you're gonna be at Pele Pro coming up. Like I said, I just talked to Kyler Hessler. He was actually texting me asking me if I was going to be able to make it out there. So I'm up in the air right now. I gotta talk to somebody that's sitting in this room, looking at me now that she heard that.
Give me that. Are you gonna go?
Are you gonna go? Look?
June 19th, I'll be at Pele Pro, and then July 17th, we're gonna be doing a show after the West Texas Warbirds, I believe that's what they're called now, football game in Odessa, Texas, at the Coliseum. So for old school wrestling. So that's where we'll be. You gonna be out there?
No, I'm telling her to go around the back because there's two dogs like that are about. If she opens this door here, two big dogs are going to ruin. But no, you're in June 9th. If you would, dude, I might think about going. Full transparency. Are you going?
Go for it. Maybe. I mean, I'll be. I didn't hear. What was the whole question?
No, I was. Sorry, I was saying I'm willing to go if you're willing to go, Justin. I didn't know if you were going, Justin.
Hey, I'm thinking about it. I gotta talk it over with the old girlfriend who's staring at me, giving me the crazy eyes right now.
Hey,
I'm sorry, dude, right under the bus. I'm sorry.
If not, it's on Fight TV.
Fight TV. Yep. It's where I watched it last time.
Yep.
Before we get ready, where are we at? Where are we at? Before we
Pele
get ready
Pro,
Huh?
Pele Pro. I mean, without them, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to work Myron Reed.
Myron Reed's a good worker, too. I've had a chance to watch him a couple times.
You got to check him out?
I got that match on my YouTube, too.
Yeah.
Myron Reed.
Yay!
So, I've got.
Good.
I usually try to because I keep my YouTube just kind of as a library. I mean I've got. I'm sitting in the room with them right now. I've got DVDs, probably 80 or so DVDs from the first. Probably a stack about that thick, and it's all the early part of my career. And so I want to keep my YouTube. I realize how hard it is to get your own footage sometimes. And so that's another way Full Sail's helped me out is to be able to, they provided me with an amazing camera that I can take to my shows and get the sound right and get the footage, the shot right. It allows me to archive, my footage, and it allows me to go back and do tape study. It allows me to go back and watch, if I just want to watch a match to relive a moment. The other thing, it's kind of sentimental. I guess kind of the morbid part of me. If anything ever happened to me, it's something my kids can go back and watch.
Legacy,
it's something my kids can have to say, "Hey, this is what my dad did."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, fatherhood. Jeez, they don't think you can train for. Good God, are we all dads? All dads here on the dad train? Dad, yeah, that's yeah. Well, not the reason I'm a more, but
it's a full-time job. They're expensive pets.
Dude, the job they don't prepare me for. Oh my God, I wanted a boy. God, I wanted a boy, but reaping. I was a naughty boy. I had to.
I got two
Listen.
boys.
Ryan. God, that's not even fair. Justin, you have a boy and a girl. I just have one girl, and boys are easier. They're a lot easier. Oh my goodness.
I grew up with 3 sisters. I grew up with 3. I'm the oldest of 5, and I have 3 sisters. So I know how that goes.
Yeah,
Listen,
right in my family.
I was with my kids today, and we went fishing, and because my daughter's been begging me to go fishing, so we went fishing. We slaughtered the fish, and so I was like, "Let me show y'all how to catch one." So I threw my thing out there. I caught one. It was a big brim, and I pulled it up, and I held it, and the thing started peeing all over me.
Oh. Oh.
My kids were sitting there laughing at me. That's how much they care about me. They were laughing at me, yelling, "The fish is peeing on you!" Ha!
You're that dad. Oh, but my daughter's doing cheerleading, and that's a step she wants to do. That's full. They're doing like the cheer dad thing, and for some reason, I'm fully prepared to be that dad. I mean, I am so ready to be that dad. As a single dad, the moms that I digress. Right? You have, dude. Before we get into that, because we're getting to our mark now, but dude, is there anything else before we get ready to soon up that you want to know? Because, like I said, your growing name, I love your body of work. It speaks for itself. Your matches are great, guys. Please check out Ryan Justice's YouTube. Give it a look. What do you want? You have their ear. They're gonna see this. Like your is something. I like to use that term. What do you want the world to know about you, my guy?
You know, I'm a kid with a dream. You know, I want to be the example for my kids.
Right.
Show them that, you know, they can do whatever they want, and you know they can do whatever they want. But the other thing, on the flip side of that, you know, you take a look at my body of work, you go to that YouTube, and really all I'm asking for is one shot. I just want to know to myself if I can do that, like if I can succeed in that arena. You know, that's really all I ask for out of life. But if I want the world to know one thing about me, is that you're going to get the absolute best from me every time I step into that ring. And if I feel like I'm not giving that to you, then I need to reevaluate the situation. You know, I'm 30. I'll be 32 this year, and I've done it for 12 years. Mm-hmm. I don't see a stopping point at all anytime soon. And as long as I can keep getting reactions like I got last week, as long as we can keep getting reactions like we got at the expo, you know, I'm going to keep doing it for the fans. Whether whether you love to boo me, whether you love to cheer me, just be loud. That's all I ask. Just be loud and follow along. But yeah, you're going to get my absolute best every time I step into that ring.
Captain, Justin,
Ryan, man, there's nothing. I just want to thank Ryan for coming on tonight and just sharing. You were the first guest me and Marcus have had on this show, and we don't want it to be the last time you come back on here and share with us, man. We'd love to have you on more often than not, just to have you come on and share your experiences with us.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and you want to hear me rant? Get me on closer to football season. We'll talk some football.
Who are your teams?
Well, right now for football, the Houston Texans, but it seems like they're trying to stop me from being a fan. So probably going to be drinking a little bit more than usual this season.
I'm a Jaguar fan. I know all about that.
See, now we have heat, Justin. Now we're division rivals. Now we have heat.
Bring it on, Ryan Justice. Bring it on.
And we're opening game. We're week 1.
Trevor Lawrence, baby.
We
Trevor
got it.
Lawrence.
You know, Listen, we may have to get on before week 1 and talk trash to each other. I'll try to justify what my team is going to do this season, and you could just job me out. Like, it's probably what you're going to have to do.
Well, I would say
Definitely.
fan,
We will definitely
a
have you
world
on
championship
before the
win.
season.
Definitely. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. The Burn signing off. Thank you, guys. We'll see you again.
That was fun.